We are here, the vault.
You locked into the vault with Donta Myles on fire. 716 Radio. Let's go.
What's good? What's up? Listen, we are here at the vault. Glad you guys made it in. For those of you who are here, hey Nas, Malcolm, hey everybody. Let's get the business together. The first level of business is we are here at Fire 716 Radio. So what we need you to do is go to Fire 716 Radio, download the app. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all. Download the app and just enjoy all of its greatness. You heard? So, yeah, we're here. This week was a pretty busy week, of course. And hey, Bree, what's up, love? And yeah, today I want to talk about this debate that we just had, our mayoral and council debate.
My Lord, update me. I'm a little bit
All right,
behind.
I'm definitely gonna update you, man. Listen, this was something different. Well, one, um, seven people that was on the stage for the debate in regards to the city council debate. Um, One thing that I really didn't care for is how they did the questions, because they asked the questions and they just went from left to right the whole time.
Mm.
So I seen Brian. And Brian, I gotta give a shout out because Brian was the first one.
hmm
So every question he had to be the first one to answer. When overall it should have been like a mixture. Start with him
For
on this
sure, for sure,
question,
for sure.
then start the other way, start in the middle,
Yeah.
try to work his way out.
Because I seen somebody make a status that they didn't get to give out their information
Right.
because of the way that the order was going, something like
Yeah,
that.
it was
So,
just the ordering. I didn't care too much for how they did it. They did it the right way for the mayoral debate. When the mayoral debate came afterwards, they had it like, it'll start with Mr. Kane
mhm.
and then Nix and then, Rustino. Then
Gotcha,
it'll be
gotcha,
Nix, Rustino, Kane, then Rustino. So they did it right then,
gotcha.
because what happens is you get people, uh, you get people uh, like pretty much Brian is stuck being the first, so it's like you don't everybody else get a chance to hear what
Mhm.
someone else say, and they can kind of like calculate what's going on and kind of in their brain, where he has to be spot on every
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean that's I'm gonna shoot a line and a shout out to him. Um, it was interesting. It was interesting. So I'm gonna give my take on some of what was going on there. So
hmm
we had Brian Archie, Jim Perry, um, Jennifer Lemoy. Forgot the young man's name. He used to ride a bike with like little lawnmower and stuff behind it and do like
I know you're talking about. I got a face. I don't know his name,
Okay,
but I got
I
a
forget
face.
his name too. I didn't even know that he was running. Yeah, he was on the stage too. Um, so so it was him, Jennifer Lemoy, Brian Archie. So Brian Archie, Jim Perry, Jennifer Lemoy, the other guy. Oh, Vince Cauley,
Okay.
Mike Gowell. I'm missing somebody. My God. See, that's what happened. This gray is not just because it's a fashion statement. I'm getting a little older. So Brian Archie, Jim Perry, Mike Gowell, uh, Vince Cauley, and some of anybody on here that may the unknown guy, Jennifer Lemoy, and it's one more. But once I get it, it'll come to me. Um, Unica,
Oh, valid, valid, valid,
come
valid,
on,
valid.
Unica, yeah. Sit up here because I'm looking at these endorsed candidates, and then the guy that I didn't, nobody really knew, and Unica. Um, so Uh, yeah, I got it. I caught it. I was on it. I caught it. It just popped up. So yeah, I ain't gonna be able to say I ain't remember. So yeah, and she did a good job too. You know what I mean? Because you know, a lot of us aren't like public speakers,
Right, for sure, for sure.
and there was a time where if you put me in front of a lot of people, I would freeze up. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know exactly what to say, when to
Hmm.
say, and how to say it. So, with all of that being said, some things that stuck out to me.
Hmm.
Um, Now, I tell everybody I'm not a party, I'm a person.
Yeah.
So I don't have to follow someone because they they're affiliated or they're endorsed by the party.
Hmm.
I will say that Brian did a very good job. One, um, he didn't focus on anyone else or trying to kind of throw daggers
Hmm. Valid.
at any the those who are running, the candidates that are running
Yeah.
against him. He gave honest and straightforward. You know, he was solid. So kudos to Brian. I really don't have too much to really
Yeah.
comment. I mean, and you can tell that he knows what he's talking about,
Gotcha.
which is a good thing. Um, so that goes next to Mr. Perry. I really, I really wasn't um enthused at all.
Hmm.
I really wasn't enthused at all, and um, to be honest, I kind of felt slightly disappointed.
Hmm.
Um, because I feel like his responses directly was tied to our current administration. If
Gotcha.
I can be 100% honest, which you guys know I'm gonna be. Where my camera at?
Yeah. Huh?
You guys know I'm gonna be 100% honest, and so when he began to kind of bash NFR and Urbicon and the whole data center and openly, publicly support this event center. Um, and you guys already know how I feel about both. Um, is that this event center still has yet to give us any inkling of how it's going to be taken care of
Yeah.
financially.
Yeah.
Hasn't given us a 10, 15, 20-year projection and trajectory of what it will look like for our city and how it would actually even benefit our city.
Mm.
Um, and so he kind of went on that kind of tangent a little bit,
Hmm.
and I'm support of the event center and you know NFR, they haven't done anything, and that center, that's not gonna happen, and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, wow, I can see if one outshined the other.
Yeah.
Um, I like Kane's response to the whole NFR event center.
Hmm.
You know, he said, "I just don't like people picking winners and losers. If they both could happen, then let's let them happen.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't do it, out of because I'm connected with this person, so I'm going to pick you to win.
Yeah.
And I'm going to." So it just a lot of it made sense. So and um, then Mr. Jim Perry also went into this whole idea of, "Oh, and I'm not going to vote against the police grant." Now you remember when I had made that, and I made it really clear. Me and Mr. Carley, we have our own minds. We don't vote on things because the other one votes on it. We
Right.
don't
Right.
vote
Right. Right. Right.
together.
Right.
It just so happened that we had, our own specific reasoning of why we voted the way we voted on that evening. And I don't know if he was doing it to try to throw daggers at Carly,
Mm.
but I'm in the crossfire because
Yeah, because you were
I voted the same way.
right, right.
But if that's like, is that your power for your can for a debate? Like, so I was like, wow, like, and he seemed very frail and just like didn't have his own thought process, his
Gotcha,
own
gotcha.
mind.
And this
Um,
is Jim Perry, right?
this is Mr.
Jim
Jim
Perry.
Perry, and like I said, I was disappointed because couple of years ago when I ran with him, I met with him and we talked, and the way he spoke, he made it seem like he was his own person, and
Mm-hmm.
and he would be willing to talk. And he was like, and then when he didn't win this last election, when I won, he said that he definitely want to connect, run again because
Mm-hmm.
I need help and so on and so forth. And the people that are up there with you, they're not really for the. He gave me all of that good
The good,
talk,
the good.
and then once he started running, and I opened the door and said, "Hey, man, you know, shoot a line. Let's connect.
Yeah.
Come on the show. I'm not a aha try to get you all whatever
Mm-hmm.
wrapped up." Well, that didn't happen,
Yeah.
and I never had a conversation with him since. And
Yeah.
I've been open, but any like a conversation right now would be disingenuous
Gotcha.
because it's a week and a
Is
half.
is there another debate coming up? Or is this the
No,
last
that's the
one? That's
last
it.
one and only. Um, so I know, and the other one was before the primary, so that's how
Gotcha.
they did that.
Gotcha.
It's a week and a half. It's just running and gunning to you know what I mean. So enough of that. I wasn't so with Mr. Perry, um, I just wish that he had more substance.
Gotcha.
Um, didn't get that from him. Unica, she definitely she brought it more from a community standpoint,
Gotcha.
and she was able to answer questions in a manner that that pretty much could give those who aren't from the inner city,
Well,
those who are not let's say haven't dealt with the marginalized space.
mm-hmm.
Um, she was able to kind of give it from that kind of take, and I would applaud her because we talked, and she you know this is new to her too.
You're right.
You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I applaud her. Miss Lemoy. Uh, Miss Lemoy has a lot going on with her. A lot of it is, I think a lot of it has to do with like it's a bitterness in regards to her and the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, what's going on, Nick? Miss Mother Wilson, Mama Wilson, Mr. Flack, I see you guys. Um, and they asked questions, and she
Mm-hmm.
had her own cue card of answers that she was reading off of that didn't even really, for the most part, answer the questions. So it was just like, oh, this is like a little different. So, and then a lot of it still had to do with the mayor and the administration, and
Yeah.
kind of like it. And so I don't think that really helped her
Well.
in that space because you can tell it was a level of bitterness
Mm-hmm.
from that space. So from my space, it was just like she kind of she wanted to express what she wanted to
Mm-hmm.
express, and this was, I guess, her stage or
Gotcha.
platform to do so.
Yeah. The question that I kind of have is like, what's the background of these people? Sort of, kind of. I know, outside of, I know Kane, um, but like when you talk about Jim Perry, and I think just about the um Jim Perry and the Lemoyne, is her name
Jennifer
was
Lemoy.
Jennifer
Mm-hmm.
Lemoyne, just trying to get a backstory of like who they are.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
to be honest with you, because if I haven't seen you at the meetings or you haven't been really a part,
right.
I'm just trying to see like what evidence of work have you done outside of this juncture?
Right.
And so I guess there's some research I can
I'm
do.
gonna tell you. The thing is like Jennifer Lemoy, she's at a lot of the meetings, but
Mhm.
most of the time, it's her personal issues with the mayor and his
Got you.
administration
I
because
got you.
she uh, you know, and granted, she worked stupid hard on his campaign when he ran.
Ah, okay.
And when he got in, like he did with many other people, he shut that door on her.
Oh wow.
Like he did with, you know, like a lot of promises, you know, a lot of the people in the black community, I just
Mm-hmm.
keep it what it is. You know, this open door policy, he actually, I heard him say, that's why I love who I am, because I'm going to say exactly what it is. He said that 4 years ago, he literally almost verbatim at this installation at Mount Zion,
Mm-hmm.
because I went and my boy, he called me to play.
Got you. Oh yeah, yeah.
And so he was there. And at the installation at Mount Zion, he literally, that you know, Mr. Frisian called him up to speak, and uh, he literally said verbatim almost the same thing he said almost 4 years ago. You know, my administration and I will have an open door policy for everyone, and as long as you know when I need you, you can show up for me and this and that. And I'm like, I'm sitting up there with the bass in my hand, like he just did he just
You should
say
do
that?
that. Womp womp womp. Right,
Right.
no valid.
So I'm like, wow.
I'm gonna be honest, and I get politics in church. I understand why they do it. I hate why they do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be very honest. When you start opening up for politicians to come in who have not held their part of the bargain in the last 4 years, I have a problem.
Big problem.
Like it's different when all right, some politics come in, you are holding your weight, we're holding you accountable, we can put pressure on you. I can literally come talk to you.
Right. We at the
But
table.
we're at the table. But when it comes down to the Niagara County, we're not at the table.
No, not at all.
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
We can record the notes,
Right.
but we
Right.
ain't got no input on what's happening. And that disturbs me because there's so much going on. And so much that you projected that you would do that hasn't been done. And if we do another term with you, it's only because of name recognition and not because
you've done so great
right.
that you deserve the space. That's not what it is. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get into that portion.
Yeah.
But that's definitely was that. So yeah. So you know, Miss Lemoy, I think it was more so. Yeah, I mean, what you got 20 people that's going to show up at city council.
Mm-hmm.
So now she's on a stage, a big stage. She's able to kind of like express how she feels in regards to the mayor and in front of a bigger crowd.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
That's so because she literally had notes. Nobody knows what the questions are.
It's about her agenda.
So she knew right off the rip, like if you got notes and you about to read, yeah.
That mean no matter what it answer,
no matter what
the question is,
they had to stop her 3 times to tell her, Miss Lemoy, you have to stick with the question. The question was, how do you do? What do you feel about A, B, and C? Well, the administration, they don't care about the community, and it is. I'm just like,
yeah.
No, and I mean, maybe some of the stuff that she's saying is valid, but you're not. So it didn't help her as far as the debate goes.
Gotcha.
They're talking about the job.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. The young man, I can't remember his name. You know, my apologies, but I didn't. There's not a yard sign or a palm card or anything. So, you know, he was kind of fair. You know what I mean? You can tell. It was his first go around, so you're not polished, and I wasn't either. So you know, but you know, he was kind of winging it a little bit. Gotcha. But you know, I give him a B for showing up and at least trying, because everybody deserves to run. Murphy, thank you. Murphy, that's his last name.
I got you. Okay.
Everybody deserves to run. So I give him that. Mr. Cawley. And Mr. Cawley was on the show. Him and Unica, they came on the show as well.
For sure.
So I'll put that out there. You know, he held his own. When Mr. Perry threw a dagger, you know, about talking, you know, connecting him with NFR and so on and so forth. and just really like, I can say from governing perspective, as him being my colleague right now,
Hmm.
that he's okay with standing up for whatever it is that he believes in,
Yeah.
regardless of if it's because there were times where, you know, I didn't quite understand why he voted no on something.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a 4-1. I was just kind of like, I get
Mm.
it. But he chose to do it, and I respect when someone, if they feel like that's their principle and that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Listen,
No valid.
because that's how I am.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And you just want to, let's just be honest. You want to make sure that you ain't nobody's puppet.
Right,
If this is your authentic thought, and I think that his explanations
right,
to why he said what he says when we get to into those meetings, I'm like,
right.
oh, I can see your point of view on that.
I can get it.
I
You
can
can
get
get it
valid,
afterwards.
valid for sure.
So,
So I think those that's just because I go to the meetings. So
come
yeah,
on now.
if you don't go to the meetings, you won't be able to capture the character of how they do work those things out. But I think that
Right.
Carly has definitely been a solid,
Yeah.
and I can attest to that. And I don't remember what I said in the beginning that I was watching. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
welcome, but I'm
Right.
watching,
I'm watching. Right.
just making sure that nobody is pushing you, navigating you
Right.
to be
Right.
on this
Puppeteer.
puppeteer train situation,
Right.
but your independence has shown, and I can respect him for
And I respect that. That's something I totally respect. In regards to him as well. Um. So yeah, I'll say he held his own, and you can, and it didn't seem scripted. He just said how he felt.
that. Yeah, yeah.
And so, and he had a little bit of knowledge on what he was talking about, so I
Mhm.
give it to him. So, and then there's Mr. Mike Gall. What's going on, Sharifa? Mr. Campbell, how y'all doing? Go to 5716, download that app. I want to see some numbers change tonight too. Um, so Mr. Gall, something different about this man.
Mhm.
Um, and it really wasn't in a good way. I didn't get a good feeling about
Mhm.
him. Because he came very campaignish when I seen him. He came very you know, hey, why don't you come to my? Nah, I don't know who you are. I don't
Right,
know
right,
you.
right, right,
Yeah,
right,
come
right.
come to the spot tomorrow and have a couple of beers with us. I said I don't drink, bro. Like I'm trying to get like I'm gonna get you off my back. I'm gonna get you off of me,
Yeah.
but like chill out because I'm gonna call you out in a minute. Like just chill. Well, so he went in and he kind of had some of that administration and mayor juice on him too.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, so then the thing that's it's a lot of things that like he said, like he went and bashed the NFR project same way and all that, and it is what it is. It's
Yeah.
like okay, but if you're gonna bash one, make sure the other one is putting forth the one that you're bashing, whatever they're missing. Make sure the other one.
Mhm.
So my thing has been like Centennial Park is not putting forth, has not given us any real information.
Oh yeah.
They haven't been transparent. Uh-oh, I have to call him back. Sorry, mom. They haven't been transparent as to how our funds, how we've been spending funds for this eminent domain.
Yeah.
They haven't told us where this $150 million is going to come from. They haven't told us who's going to fund the staffing of this place, who's going to fund the maintenance of this place, who's going to fund the multi-million dollars of interest that we got to pay yearly for this space to even exist.
Which should have been done in the beginning
Right?
in your projections.
It should be there.
It should be there.
If something is such a great model or something is such so revolutionary and is gonna be a portion of pulling Niagara Falls out of the rut that we're in,
Right.
you should have all of the trajectory. You should have um fiscally, what is it going to do for
Valid.
our municipality? What is it
Wow.
going to do for our city? What is it going to do for the tax base? You should have all of that. Now, I did my research, and for what he's planning on putting there and where he's placing it, it would cost us more money than we'll ever make. Um, so saying all that to say, so he's going in with that and whatnot. So, and I'll go into that once I talk about the mayors, because the mayors is shorter. It's only three of them. And he's the last one, so I'm speaking on one part that stuck out with me. Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, this man said, "Yeah, and me and Councilman Carly and Tracy. I see you back there, Tracy. We're gonna come together and we're gonna do like so in a mayoral debate where one, you want to be in a position and you want to, you know, you want to work together. You want five council people that can actually have good synergy and actually, whether we agree or disagree, know how to work together
For sure.
with our agreements and our disagreements, right? So that's what you want. But for him to segregate the council at the debate and pull out two other people and say, like, literally, you're basically saying I'm making our own. This is our clique. I'm like, man, if you've lost,
Yeah.
you've lost. Then he came up to me afterwards and he was like, hey, because I had on Brian Archie's shirt, and he was like, hey, you got one more, you got two votes that you can, do that day. So, if you can give me that second vote, I said, you sound like a real politician right now, bud. And then I walked away. Um, yeah, that was just like it was tacky.
Yeah.
So I would say that his performance at the debate and therefore after was very tacky.
Yeah.
Um. So overall, that's my take.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna push anybody to you vote for who you vote for. I wish and hope and pray that people may go try to find a replay of it and try to what I'm saying.
I was gonna ask you that. Was it?
I know Unica had recorded all of it, so
Okay.
she recorded while it was up there with her, and then when
Okay.
she came down. So if you go on her page, check her page out, and get that squared away.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Because I say this all the time, and I'm gonna find my balance very soon, because stuff like that just needs to be we have technology. Why not use it?
Yeah,
Like the whole thing should have been listen, tune into the debate.
Yeah,
wherever you are, it should have been a situation. And I'm going to try to put in a heavier effort to be more present, on behalf of the community. Because I get it that some can make it, some couldn't, but you can watch, you can tap in, because you need to know who's saying what's happening.
Right, hold them accountable
more than just the name. Because like I told you, it'd be the name alone that'd give him just I heard his name before. We know him. You just pick him versus the work. Yeah. But go ahead.
So that was that. So I know Unica did it. I don't know. It might be on YouTube as well. I haven't checked yet, but in the event, I will make it known if it is. So that was that portion. So that was over. Yeah. So then we had our mayoral debate, and something stood out to me, and I'm gonna post it at some point. I took a picture of the three candidates, and I'm gonna post it, and I'm gonna see if people can see, because it was more comedic to me. I was just like, it was funny. It was with the picture, because you look at people posture, the posture of a person, and I was just like, that's funny. But so just kind of looked for for my look for that's gonna come soon. Okay, so Mr. Kane. So Mr. Kane, I have to say his responses were very formal. So I don't know if I can, maybe I can just attribute that to that's his aura.
Yeah.
Um, you know, he pretty much he's not a slouch. I'll
Mm-hmm.
put it that way as well. He's not a slouch, so he knew what he was talking about. And when it came down to crime, he also had his background, so he was able to kind of like utilize that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Demetrius,
Yeah. Right.
I love Mimi. Can I tell you what a level of another level of respect to how that night went down with Mimi?
Yeah.
Because Mimi, the level of unhinged was different.
Mm-hmm.
We know Mimi. We know how
Valid.
Mimi can get,
Valid. For sure.
right?
For sure.
No, let's call it what it was, right? Um, but I got to give it to Mimi for this because he made the statement. He said, I didn't want this seat," and he said, "But I just wanted people like me to know that you can do this too." He said, "Y'all
Valid.
seen me fight. Y'all seen me get kicked off the ballot, fight, and get back on.
Yeah.
Y'all seen people try to, go against this, and then I was able to get back on, and I had to get an extra 1,000 signatures just for me to sit here today." He
Mm-hmm.
was like, he kept it 100. He was like, he said, "But really, honestly, I didn't care to get this seat." He said, "I just wanted other people to know that you can do this as
Valid.
well."
For sure.
He said, "And hopefully 4 years from now, somebody like me that dress better than me, that's more cleaner than me, but that's for the people,
Yeah.
can run because they know
Valid.
that they can do it."
For sure. For sure.
I respect that. And he called out some stuff. I mean, when I talk about like, even with NFR, like as far as the properties, he was like, "Do I think that's gonna happen? I don't know, probably not."
Yeah.
But then he turned around to Rustano and said, "Yeah, but no disrespect, but stuff you presenting is BS too." But he said the real.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh." He said, "And I already know, like it's not like y'all really that mad at each other."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "You doing this because you want to stamp, a stamp of approval, some money down the line, like, and you get you back in office." Like he's saying
Wow.
all the stuff that a lot of people uh was probably thinking.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was, and when he said it, even all of the Rustino followers, they chuckled, they laughed,
Mm-hmm. But
but it was like, yo, this man is up here, he's saying his piece. Um, I don't know, yeah, I can respect, you know, the his whole presence and what he explained.
yeah.
So, and for him to be able to, so, and I guess that's probably what it's probably what makes him probably a little bit more dangerous in that arena,
Mm-hmm.
because for one who doesn't care to even get that spot makes him a little bit more
Well,
dangerous.
yeah. Yeah.
He's like, "I'm not, but I'm for the people."
Yeah.
You know, when they ask questions, he answered them,
Yeah.
and he answered them very well. I must give
Mm-hmm.
it to him. So shout out, um, Mr. Rustino did Mr. Rustino.
Yeah.
Um, the thing about it is he had a lot of his people, so he had brought in an entourage of people that was just Rustino shirts. You seen all of
Mm-hmm.
them, and I was just like, "Oh, he need his crowd here." You know what I mean? So, Ronnie Cunningham, he came in there. Let me talk about Ronnie Cunningham. This dude came in here with this. It had to be like this fuchsia purple. Uh, uh, what's that? I got nothing but love for you.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
5 heartbeats.
Because he wore it at the gala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I said, "Bro, what you want us to see you? I see you, brother. Turn that jacket down." Sharifa said he outdated. So yeah, so Rustino brought his people in, and it's name recognition.
Yeah.
I honestly, you know, they're talking about the credit rating. He's talking about 90 streets that have been repaid. He's talking about us having a surplus. I said this at city council meeting, and I'm gonna say it here. So just know that it's gonna be said. Um, we have this thing called American Rescue Plan
Oh yeah.
funds. We had this thing called a pandemic. Um, people were able to pour back into, let's say, the tax base in the community because during the pandemic, a lot of people were making more money than they ever made in their life. So if I worked at the Dollar Tree and I got laid off because of the pandemic, I collected full unemployment plus an extra $600 from the
Mm-hmm.
government. A lot of people who made about $400 a week average was bringing home $1,000 every week for almost a full solid year.
Yeah.
My job was an essential position, and I had just enough hours that I didn't qualify for layoff, but
Mm-hmm.
not enough hours to really make any real money. And during this time, this is where the mayor, the current administration, the mayor, um, Ryan, no, Ronnie is a hold on. She said that Rustino outdated. Well, Rustino is smart. I don't like his governing, but he's not a dumb man. But however, Ronnie is in his back pocket. Ronnie brought. I'm gonna just listen. Let's call it what it is. He and Ronnie does. Ronnie he has a lot of knowledge, but Ronnie is keep it a Sharifa. Let's keep it 100. Ronnie is a Rustino. He hit that in a minute. That's what I'm gonna call him, Ronnie Rustino. Cause Ronnie know that, and I love Ronnie. Ronnie is a funny
No,
individual.
valid for sure,
He
for
you know
sure, for
he you
sure.
know what I'm saying he cool people. He crack jokes like his son. But yeah, um, but with that being said, yeah, we had this thing called a pandemic that shook a lot of things up,
Yeah.
and we had funding coming from the state and from the federal portions of our government that helped us um well, listen, Sharifa, I guess you are not that's where me and you are differ because I have to deal with him on a one-to-one. She said Rustino was the man. Definitely, he's a man. I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. I'm not gonna attack his personal character because I don't know him personally, and he doesn't. He, no one has that kind of power
Yeah, for
to
sure.
for me to
Yeah,
go
because
hard
the
for.
way you act at home and how you act in office is sometimes different.
Some can be different,
Different for
right?
sure, for sure,
So,
for sure.
so I'm not gonna try to
Right.
assassinate his personal. I don't know him personally. I mean, 46 people back in mid 2000s know him personally. So, but again, I'll let those families speak on that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's this thing the American Rescue Plan (ARPA), um, and funding that we have been utilizing for a lot of things that we would have been utilizing out of our city budget. That's $56 million of
Mm.
funds that we have our council and the administration have been voting on.
Mm-hmm.
$56 million. So, you take $56 million, and when our yearly budget is around 95 million, $56 million can help offset
For
some
sure.
stuff.
For sure. For sure.
So, I just don't want people to get the wool pulled over their eyes to make it seem as if the administration and the council of the last handful of years have been so amazing, and as if we have created so many more levels of streams of income and tax bases in the city that we created this surplus ourselves.
No.
This was with help.
Yeah.
We still are spending ARP funds. Um,
Yeah.
ARP, American Rescue Plan. So with that being the case, you know, he gave a performance that I kind of expected.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's really up to the voters about a
Mm-hmm.
week and a half or so from now to to decide who's gonna be who's gonna be next,
Yeah.
right? Now, what have I been preaching for the last two, three? Well, actually, before I got in,
Right.
I have been preaching show up because you're gonna vote blindly if you don't,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and it's a lot of us that's gonna be voting
Blind,
blindly.
a whole lot of it. And when I say a lot, I mean
A
a lot.
lot. So I guess what makes it a little tough. See, because I want I was working hard. Um, um, and that could be a case too. He doesn't have enough influential young leaders in his ear. But at the same
Who said
token,
that
this is Sharifa
about
about Restino. But the only thing is that first of all, they can. He has to be willing to listen.
I about to say is for real for real. And no shot to anybody.
No, no, absolutely.
Outside of can I talk to the mayor?
Mm-hmm.
Is that door open for us for real? And I asked that question,
It's not.
and then also even if it was open, is it promoted that it's open for real that we can go and talk? Because you can't take my opinion and take it offensive. Now you want now I'm enemy because I'm gonna just go ahead and be this person, Sharif, with no disrespect. Because when a young man in orange outfit
Mm-hmm.
started voicing his agenda or his goal and showing up,
Mm-hmm.
then we made it a beef between the mayor and him
Mm.
versus taking his ideas and concept and coming together with a partnership to do something.
Right.
So it's like I don't have to be an enemy.
Right.
I ain't got to come for your seat, but is the door open for me to communicate effectively with you concerning the matters and see a different outcome than we've seen over the last 4 years.
4 years. And here's the thing, and no one is really attacking him.
Right.
See what happens is, and so let me give you a little backdrop. And I have no real beef on it. But and the whole story will come out at some point when I feel like it. Um, so I was doing outreach for homeless youth between the age of 12 and 24.
Yeah.
And and it was being very effective because it's a lot of homeless youth.
Yes, it is.
Um, and with that being the case, uh, I was still a councilman, and I had to do my job as a councilman. And so when certain things came up, I questioned. I would be, because I wasn't in his pocket, I would be the one that would challenge a situation, challenge a thing. And because I challenged him, he didn't like it. Well, I have the receipts. The receipts will come out. After him having a meeting with our CEO at Pinnacle at the time, and a couple of backdoor meetings and so on and so forth. Let's just say, fast forward, my job got defunded.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's food on my family's table. And I could have took it really personal, and I could have went completely ham. But I said, you know what? I'm a grinder. My dad told me a long time ago, never let any man nor organization tell you how to feed your family. You got hands.
Yeah.
I do what I got to do. I'm good. So that being the case, so when it comes down to how this man is, he's very he utilized, if you want to talk about a general abuse of power, I put his picture next to that.
Wow.
Let's call a thing a thing. Let's call a spade a spade. When you call special meetings and put, which, and again, that's another thing. When you call special meetings and put regular agenda items on it. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna watch it later too, Jeff. They're gonna have to wait. Um, you call special meetings and then you take away the voice of the people. So you take away the podium and you say, I'm going, and I can see if it's special. I can see if it's not only special. I can see if it was time sensitive. I can see if it had an urgency for us to actually have special meetings,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I see if that I would be at those special meetings.
Yeah.
But when I see the agenda, when the police come to my house and they give me that manila envelope and I open that envelope and I see agenda items that should have been on our next regularly scheduled council meeting,
Yeah.
I don't go, or like I did before, he got mad about it. I showed up. I I asked every question. I made sure I asked you all of the questions that
Mm-hmm.
my colleagues wasn't asking.
Yeah.
And then you had to respond. And then when it came time to vote, I said, I abstain. I abstain. I abstain. I'm not voting because I feel like it's still unfair that you didn't allow people to actually address me,
Yeah.
a part of the governing body, to so they can let me know how what we're going to vote on or what you want us to vote on, how it's going to affect them.
Yeah.
So he um at the end of the day, I listen, Sharifa, we need to give the same kind of grace um um as to uh, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to, because indeed, you're 100% correct. We are not perfect. Yeah, he's frustrated. I'm frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
I have people calling me on a regular about problems that I can't solve.
Right.
But that's only because, and when I say out of a state of ignorance, it's only because I out of the actual definition of the word ignorance. They just don't know any better. Um, and a lot of the issues come from, you know, who our mayor appoints. So let me give you let me give you just a helping hand to how it works. Our grass, um, our grass, our uh, yes sir, absolutely, Jeff. Our grass, the abandoned buildings, the boarded up buildings, that's out of code. Um, streets, plowing services, potholes, trees that's been on 15, 16, 17-year lists to get cut down, ash trees that are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all of these things, there's a department head
Yeah.
to each of these departments. So there is your code enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a head that runs the day-to-day operation for code enforcement. There is your DPW. There's a head that actually runs the day to day for DPW. There is, let's say the, our corporation council. That's another thing. Um, and the what is it? Community development.
Wow.
There's a head to community development. So if we don't see things moving and being developed, there's a head
Mm-hmm.
to all of those that
Yeah.
control the day to day. What's up, Mr. Laurie? You're next. You're going to be on the show. I promise you. That's my I
No.
love him, man. So these are heads, right? That control the day to day.
Yeah.
They're all appointed by who?
Mm-hmm.
Our mayor and the administration. Um, yeah. So when they reach out to me, I can't personally call the head of
Mm-hmm.
DPW and have a conversation with them
You talk to
to at
them.
least say how are we going to fix this? Why is it that we don't have salt? Winter is coming every year. I
Every
promise.
year.
Every single year, winter is coming. Why aren't we prepared? Why are we talking about financial stress when it comes down to that? So what happens if I own Tops and the manager over Tops is allowing Tops to fall to the ground? what's probably going to happen to that manager?
Be let go.
He's probably going to get let go.
Yeah.
What happens is a lot of heads of these departments that's appointed not by us, not by council, but by the mayor and the administration. A lot of those heads are being protected from this level of scrutiny or the level of questioning and challenge. So that's where the problem is. So when it comes to me, I'm going to put it right back to the head of the situation. Now, it's not just the department heads. There has to be checks and balances. So who's
Mm-hmm.
going to, kind of chastise or rebuke these department heads? Well, it should be the one that actually hired them.
Yeah.
But because they're not, they're not made to come to our meetings and to give the reasoning as to. So now we have the public continuously reaching out to me and some of my constituents about things that we just can't fix.
Yeah.
So I point everything back to the source. So with that being said, the saddening portion of this type of election is that people only have what they see in this last year or the last summer to go by because they haven't done their homework to show up. When you don't do your homework to show up, you're only gonna go by what they're telling you on the palm card that they're gonna send to your house. Now, Rostano sent about 3 of them, but I mean, he said he got train smoke money. I will say that his war chest is huge.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And NFR is a big portion of his war chest, which is funny. So, which is they donate. That was his second top donor in his last campaign. So some of the money that he's spending while he's trying to go hard after them or play fight with them,
Yeah.
that's some of their money too. With that being said, that's why I always ask people to show up.
Yeah. Gotta show up.
If you show up, so now everybody got the opportunity. What's going on, Kemp? Everybody got the opportunity now within the next 2 years. So watch this. So now there's another campaign, another election, 2025. Excuse me, 2025. That's the year that 2025 is going to be the last year of my term this term.
Yeah.
So someone will there's 3 seats that will be up. Mine will be one of them. But that's not the mayoral. Sometimes that one is more overlooked, which I don't get as well because we have people jumping out of the seams of their pants to run for city council during the year where it's only 2 seats. But the off year, matter of fact, if you, strategically, being that I did both of them, strategically, if I really was trying to get that seat, I would do the off season where you don't get as many voters because you have your presidential election that's going on, mayor, so it's big, all the lights. So now everybody's seeing, and it's like, oh, okay. So and it's only 2 seats, so you would think that it would be like, okay, minimal this year. Let me just slide in when it's 3 seats. I might be third place, but I'm gonna slide in.
Slide in, valid.
I mean, 7 people for 2 seats. I said, whoa. Right. So, but so you have 2 years. I'm gonna invite people to be very transparent. You have 2 years to see what the new body of council looks like. And if it's the same, or if it's a new mayor, you have with Donta guarantee being in the equation, you got 2 years left. Will I run again in 2025? I don't know. Right. I don't know. I can't say I will. Don't know. I can't say I won't either. Don't know. I can't say I might run for something different. I don't know if it's effective. Not because I'm just running for a title.
Right.
But if I know that I could be effective in a way that could help bring resources back into our city,
Right.
bring development back into our city, if I have to run in another space, um, I'll do that. I'm cool with that.
For sure.
So to wrap it up, you got 2 years. Everybody got 2 solid years, and this is with me. I'm just talking about concerning me. You got 2 years to see if there is a cohesiveness, is there a willing to work with whoever gets hired for these positions. Um, you got 2 years to see the votes of the people who are in office, see how they respond or don't respond. You got 2 years of that with me here. That's a guarantee. I just now I'm gonna ask you the same thing that I asked when I ran before, and that is if you can, and if you know what I mean, we can. And most of us do what we want to do. We buy what we want to buy. We spend time on what we want to spend time on. We make that time for whatever it is that we want to make time for. Um, I'm gonna ask everyone uh, to be present, show up. Uh, show up to be a listening ear. Show up to hold us, the governing body, accountable. Show up to let us know that you see us. When I say see us, you see our good and our bad. You see exactly what we're doing, what we're not doing. Because a lot of people hide behind the fact that a lot of people don't show up. A lot of people in office hides behind the fact they'd hate for a room full of people to show up. Don't be one to complain and open your mouth to complain about all of the issues around the city and not be willing to stand up. So before we head out, big boss man, what you, give us a word for the day.
If I would just reiterate what Dante said, and it's really about showing up. I get life. I get your own world. Life is lifing,
Mm-hmm.
challenges, but it's important for you to show up for your future,
Mm-hmm.
and that requires you to vote, to be present, to know what's happening, because a lot of us are complaining. We don't even know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Find out who owns what roads. Find out
Mm-hmm.
who's being deceptive. Find out who has a plan for your children,
Right.
who has a plan for the future. Are you staying here anyway? Are you leaving? You need to start
Right.
making some real conscious decisions about your life intentionally.
Right.
And to do that, you got to show up and you got to be involved and you got to be in the know.
Absolutely.
Got to be in the know.
I appreciate that word, and yeah, I think I said what I said. I think I
Well,
said what I said. We are here. Listen, um, thank you guys for showing up today. Show up on November. Try to do as much homework as possible
yes.
before November. Okay, vote educated, vote.
Yeah.
Okay, Donta Myles here. The Vote, Fire 716 Radio. Go download that app, please. All right. And I will see you here again next Friday. Peace and love and blessings. Um, and I will definitely check that out, Mr.